We got the president talking about quiet piggy, and the guy who would take his place won't even protect his own family. But we supposed to feel safe. Shout out to all the subscribers and the members here on the channel. Don't forget to like the video. My name is Reese Waters, and this is Street Politics. Hey, Erika Kirk. Huh? Yeah, no, I saw how you've been moving. What is this? Well, if you recall, last time I was here, I said I could help you with that whole Marjorie Taylor Greene situation. Marjorie Taylor Greene was hired, trained, and paid by tech oligarchs and others from the very beginning to be a political troublemaker. With Trump's downfall looming, Greene is now being strategically groomed to be JD Vance's vice president. Mark my words. No, it's not a pull-up bar. I got something better.
He's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Bleach blonde, bad built butch body.
Oh, what now?
Damn.
Now, Erika, you didn't hear this from me.
I'm gonna whisper because I'm in a bar and I fucking live in Tennessee, a red ass fucking state, okay? What we're not gonna hear on the news, okay, is that JD Vance was here last night, here in my city, Knoxville, Tennessee, and his motorcade got into a collision with another police officer's vehicle that was here in the city. And that police officer is now in critical condition. And we haven't seen a single tweet, a single post, or anything like that coming out of JD Vance of the Republican Party. And that happened just last night. You can look it up in Maryville, Tennessee. JD Vance's motorcade caused a critical condition incident with a police officer. Have a good day.
I don't know where he was in such a hurry to rush off to. I don't know if he was going to the Katie Miller podcast or going to buy donuts. I have no idea. I know, in Tennessee. Because I know they ain't talking about the Titans. I have no idea. Huh? You don't trust them? Why? Because of what? All right, fine.
We're learning more about a police officer who is in critical condition after a crash involving Vice President JD Vance's motorcade while he was here in Tennessee. On Friday night, the motorcade was heading through Blount County when a Maryville police officer who was on a motorcycle, his name is Justin Brown, was hit by a THP cruiser who was also a part of that motorcade. We do know that Brown has had surgery, that he is in critical condition, is going to be in the hospital likely for a very long time, but that he is making small steps towards improvement, according to Maryville Police. Now, we asked Maryville Police for body cam or dash cam footage from that accident. They say there is no available footage of what happened on Friday night.
I'm sorry, did you say the police have no footage? No footage at all of an accident involving police cruisers? They say they have no footage. I'm pretty sure the police have footage of me cutting my toenails just now if they wanted it. Call Palantir. It's JD Vance. So they got the video of him leaving in the plane, but no video of the accident. Is that what? You got video of him leaving in the plane, but no video of the accident. That is the official record? Yeah, no, it did hit the news. That's what's so crazy.
Tonight, a Maryville police officer in critical condition after a crash during a security motorcade for Vice President JD Vance.
Yeah, we're going to show you a photo of the scene. A spokesperson for the Tennessee Department of Safety tells us a THP trooper and Maryville police officer on a motorcycle were involved in the crash. We're told this happened on East Lamar Alexander Parkway at Merrit Road in Maryville.
Now, the Maryville officer was taken to UT Medical Center for treatment. Maryville Police Chief Tony Crisp asking everyone to keep the officer and his family in your prayers tonight. Now, the Tennessee Highway Patrol is investigating. As we mentioned, the officer was part of a motorcade for the vice president who, according to sources, is in East Tennessee to take part in a fundraiser. Of course, we'll keep you updated on air as well as online as we learn more.
A police officer was critically injured in a crash while protecting Vice President JD Vance's motorcade in Tennessee. Officer Justin Brown was injured, quote, when his police motorcycle was involved in a collision with a Tennessee Highway Patrol SUV unit on East Lamar Alexander Parkway at Merrit Road at 6:11 p.m. local time on Friday, according to a news release. Brown was providing a dignitary protection detail escort for Vance at the time of the crash. Police Chief Tony Crisp said a group of citizens delivered first aid to the officer at the scene of the crash. Wait a minute. You mean to tell me that you had the vice president's motorcade involved in a crash and the aid was provided by a group of citizens?
Hey, yo, what the
Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me you had the second most powerful man in the country, maybe the world, involved in a crash, and the aid for the officer was provided by citizens?
You serious?
JD Vance was in Knoxville, Tennessee on Friday night, and his motorcade crashed into another police officer's vehicle, and that police officer is in critical condition, and you haven't heard anything about it. There hasn't been a tweet, any mention from the White House, nothing from Vance, from Trump, any of that. And none of Vance's team got out to help. It was citizens, people, regular civilians who rushed to Officer Brown's side, and they are being praised for saving his life.
An account that's backed up by the civilians themselves.
It is 5:45 on your Tuesday morning, and a Tennessee woman says a crash involving the vice president's motorcade was hard to watch.
She and her fiance witnessed this Friday night. Vice President JD Vance was in East Tennessee for a fundraiser, and the crash itself happened in Maryville. Kelsey Zimmerman and her fiance had to pull over to let that motorcade pass. She says a few minutes after it went by, a Maryville police officer on a motorcycle sped by. He tried to pass a state trooper parked in an SUV in the left lane, but that trooper pulled out like he was doing a U-turn. Zimmerman says those two vehicles collided, throwing the officer into the air.
Honestly, I think it was just really bad timing. He flew probably about 15 feet into the air, landed on the ground, and then that's when everybody started freaking out. The cops started freaking out. They were running everywhere.
A terrifying moment there. Maryville police say the injured officer is Justin Brown, a field training officer. First responders and bystanders performed CPR on scene before Brown was rushed to the hospital.
Now let's start with this. If the motorcade was involved in a crash and it was citizens and bystanders that were providing aid, don't we have a name for stuff like that?
JD Vance's motorcade ran into a police officer's vehicle and then left. Did not check on the officer. That's a hit and run. Right? That's a hit and run. But because he's VP, he's not held accountable. It's like, what did we hit? Cop car, sir. Oh. Well, let's keep going. I gotta get to Erika's. And just the audacity of them saying that they care about the people.
And certainly, if in fact there was some feeling or some care, a tweet might help, something. I mean, the joke is that the GOP is so quick to offer thoughts and prayers, right? That's why people go tots and pears. You guys are so quick to offer tots and pears, but now we didn't even get that for a police officer in critical condition. Now, I do want to wish him a speedy recovery, and I wish the best for the officer involved, as well as if there's any emotional trauma from those that were affected by the accident. It's his brethren that I would love to address at this particular time, because wasn't this your guy? Wasn't this was your guy? Not JD Vance. He's not nobody's guy. Erika Kirk. Not JD Vance, but this administration, Trump. Didn't you decide to ride with them over the prosecutor because he was supposed to be your guy? And if the message wasn't clear by the blanket pardons that were given from the J6 defendants, if the message wasn't clear from the additional pardons that he's given to the dregs of corporate crime, if the message wasn't clear by the 34 felonies he brought into office, maybe this might make the message clear.
Did y'all know that JD Vance's motorcade got into a very, very serious crash with a police vehicle? And that there is a police officer sitting right now in critical condition in Maryville, Tennessee. I noticed the Republican Party is being very quiet about that.
The whole party has been quiet. Like they just wanted to magically go away. We haven't heard anything from them.
You don't find that suspicious?
Wait, I know how this goes. I know exactly how this goes. They all gonna be quiet and hope it goes away. And then when it doesn't go away, then they're going to flip and call it a Democrat hoax and call everybody stupid who believes in it. And then they're going to flip again and say, we want full transparency. We got nothing to hide. I already seen this movie. I already know exactly how this goes.
Because if that police officer, God hope he doesn't, but if that police officer expires or transcends from this world, he'll be involved with taking someone's life. I'm just saying.
I certainly hope that's not the case, and I pray for it not to be. Which is more than JD Vance or anybody on that side of the aisle can say. Which begs the question, how severe of an injury would be enough for them to continue the red wall of silence?
Has anyone seen JD Vance say anything about Justin Brown? If you have not heard, this is Tennessee relevant. JD Vance was in the Knoxville area on Friday for a fundraiser at Blackberry Farm. And when he was here, this officer, Justin Brown of the Maryville, if you're local, police department, was injured in the motorcade, critically injured. He did go into surgery Saturday. I don't know the status currently. But I also looked online to see if JD Vance mentioned anything, and I haven't seen anything from him or the White House. I know a lot of people have made jokes about how just unlucky JD Vance is, and trouble seems to follow him. What do they always say? Wherever angels go, trouble follows. Not an angel, but trouble seems to follow this man. And unfortunately, the latest person is Maryville police officer Justin Brown.
That is true. When they talk about the trouble, that is true. Because I don't think anybody has left JD Vance better for wear. Let's just say that. JD Vance breaks things in people. The trophy, the Pope, shrapnel raining down on his motorcade. Now this. The universe is trying to tell you, JD. I think the universe is trying to tell us. I think the universe is trying to tell us. I mean, they offered up the trophy just as an example for the world. But, you know, we had to go on and keep putting stuff in his lap. No, y'all won't be satisfied till he break the country. I'm sorry. Did you say he might break the country? You mean again?
I can't take it no more. God, if you listening, help!
Now, there are those that did try and defend the non-statements. Emphasis on try. Breaking. Vice President JD Vance's motorcade was involved in a crash that sent a police officer to the hospital in critical condition, and the White House is silent. Vance hasn't even bothered to tweet him well wishes. More dishonest gaslighting. 2 vehicles providing support for the motorcade were involved in an accident. Not tweeting well wishes? Is that some lefty requirement? I wouldn't call it a lefty requirement. I would say that sending well wishes or a visit is a human requirement to show that you care. A call, a human requirement to show that you care. Bare bones would be a tweet. That would be like bare bones human requirement to show that you care. If you don't care, then it's not a requirement. You want to go down that road? Which part was dishonest? The line that said Vance's motorcade was involved? It was involved. That sent an officer to the hospital? That's true. White House is silent. Had any statement come from the White House at the time of that post? Which part was gaslighting? And as I figured, crickets. Typical.
Hey, JD Vance's motorcade crashed into a cop car, left the cop in critical condition. Not a single person in JD Vance's motorcade got out of the car to help. They just fucked right off and left the guy there. So I don't want to hear from you thin blue line bootlicking fucking losers ever.
Except that's not what happened.
Hey man, I hate to do this to you, but they got your name on there as Token. That's what they put on there for your video. Oh, that's your actual handle? Is Token? Okay. No, you gave me a lot of information, and that's helpful. I appreciate that.
Tennessee police officer working Vance motorcade in critical condition after crash. Okay, 2 law enforcement vehicles crashed in Tennessee on Friday night while supporting Vice President JD Vance's motorcade. I wanted to fully understand what a motorcade was, so I did some research, okay? A vice presidential motorcade consists of various vehicles, including the armored limousine, police motorcycles, and cars for route clearance and security, and support vehicles like a mobile communication unit, an ambulance, and SUVs carrying Secret Service agents, medical staff, aides, and potentially press. JD Vance's motorcade consisted probably of these vehicles, as well as these vehicles, and I want you to pay attention to this. Police vehicles, police motorcycles, and cars that clear the path ahead and manage traffic. Also remember this, emergency medical support. So Brown was part of a dignitary protection detail for Vance on Friday evening in Maryville, Tennessee. The crash occurred at 6:11 p.m. local time. According to the press release from Maryville Police Department, Brown was critically injured when his motorcycle collided with a highway patrol SUV. The way that people are telling this story is as if Vance's motorcade crashed into Mr. Brown here. And that's not what happened. Mr. Brown was part of JD Vance's motorcade. He was a police officer, a local police officer who hit another local police officer during the motorcade. This is the police vehicle. That's the motorcycle that Brown was on. Citizens were the first to the scene and have been praised for saving Brown's life by giving immediate first aid before the officer was transported by the American Medical Response to the University of Tennessee Medical Center. Well, who is the American Medical Response? The American Medical Response motorcades are a type of medical support often seen at high-profile events. You can read the rest. And just to circle back real quick, it is local police that are used during these motorcades. So what this means is that this man is in the hospital after a freak accident. That and only that should be the focus, and the citizens that came to his immediate rescue. But they weren't the only ones that helped Mr. Brown here. It was also Vance's motorcade, the American Medical Response motorcade. Listen, fuck Vance, right? Hate the man all you want. But at the end of the day, though he's a piece of shit, doesn't mean that you have to be one as well. The way you're painting the story is as if Vance hit the man himself and then just drove off. And that's not what happened. Say what you want about Vance, but at least tell the truth. That makes sense? Peace and love.
So the cleanup gotcha was that he was in the motorcade. That's the cleanup. All y'all saying that JD Vance's motorcade and the support for JD Vance's motorcade hit an officer and he didn't say nothing. That is not true. That is not true. It was an officer was in his motorcade, supporting his motorcade, that hit another officer. And that officer that was supporting his motorcade, that officer is in critical condition. The one that was closer to him is in critical condition, and he didn't say nothing. So clean it up. Y'all got to clean this up. Now, I don't know whether or not we should all just feel silly, kind of like we all kind of got to that point with your boss, where we expected basic human behavior and reactions to things, and we learned not to expect that. So maybe we're at that point with you, because this is the same man who will defend Tucker Carlson before his own family. From Sloan Rockmuth, today we learn that Tucker Carlson's brother idolizes Nick Fuentes. Racism and anti-Semitism is a Carlson family trait. Is Tucker's son Buckley, who serves as JD Vance's top aide, also a vile bigot? America deserves to know how deep the Carlson's family ethnic and religious hatred runs. To which JD Vance apparently found his phone and said Sloan Rockmuth is a journalist who's decided to obsessively attack a staffer in his 20s because she doesn't like the views of his father. Every time I see a public attack on Buckley, it's a complete lie. And yes, I notice every person with an agenda who unfairly attacks a good guy who does a great job for me. I have an extraordinary tolerance for disagreements and criticisms from the various people in our coalition, but I'm a very loyal person and I have zero tolerance for scumbags attacking my staff. And yes, everyone who I've seen attack Buckley with lies is a scumbag. He's certainly loyal to something. He's definitely loyal to something. That would be white supremacy, because he's pretty consistent. He pretty consistent on that one. It don't matter if it's the Young Republicans chat. It don't matter if it's normalized Indian hate, which we heard from the dude in Doge. And this the same dude that went in front of the people and talked about how he hoped that his wife one day converts to being Christian after seeing the dragging that Vivek and Kash Patel been getting. Now in this moment, we've gotten nan word from JD Vance, but we get multiple tweets in defense of Buckley. Even Dave Rubin had to call him out. Mr. VP, I submit this respectfully. You're totally right. Nobody should be judged by their parents' words or actions. But, and I think you know this, the very people relentlessly attacking Jews now have Indians next up on the docket, and that includes your wife, even if she eventually converts to Christianity. While I know you're trying to hold an increasingly fractured coalition together, you were elected to be a leader, not follow the whims of the trolls. And since they eventually will turn on your own family at some point, you might want to get ahead of it. He got that from Dave Rubin. Had to clean him up about protecting his own family. One question, Dave Rubin. You said that they've been attacking Jews and Indians are next. You know what I mean? They've been attacking us for a while. Ain't nobody saying nothing. So, you know what I mean? Ain't nobody said the clips that I show of Nick Fuentes attacking Jews. He's also attacking black people because he's always attacking black people. You know what I mean? It's just, that's not up on the docket, apparently. Hey, can't do nothing about racism unless you get another group involved.
This week and last, I repeatedly asked Vance's office for any comment about this internal war about Fuentes, specifically about Tucker Carlson platforming Fuentes, and there was no response. This weekend, Vance did weigh in on something related to this issue. It had to do with another member of the Carlson family, Tucker's son, Buckley, who works for Vance. And Vice President Vance, attacked just some rando on Twitter as a, quote, scumbag, because this woman claimed that Tucker's brother idolizes Nick Fuentes and questioned whether Tucker's son, Buckley, who works for Vance, is a vile bigot, too. We here at CNN have absolutely no idea if Tucker's relatives feel any way about Fuentes. But it is clear from recent Twitter posts that his brother, also named Buckley, supports Tucker's platforming.
Now, JD Vance, if you want to take your place as the heir to MAGA, you're going to have to learn to approximate normal human emotions and reactions to things. You know, you gotta get, his AI program is trash. It hasn't gotten any better. It hasn't gotten any better. You know what I mean? And who knows if we gonna make it 3 years? Yeah, I heard Hush Piggy. We got the president talking about Quiet Piggy, and the guy who would take his place won't even protect his own family. But we supposed to feel safe. Like that's oh boy. By the way, JD, if in fact your goal is to take over, and we know that it is because you literally every decision is to get closer. Yes, I get it. You might want to step on this whole Epstein situation. Yeah, because you know what I mean. You might want to push some documents out fast. Epstein's brother makes stunning claim about why Trump is all of a sudden backing the release of the Epstein files. Mark Epstein does not believe Republicans push for a vote to release the files purely out of goodwill. Well, that goes without saying. They don't know goodwill. Neither the virtue, the noun, or the store. They definitely don't know the store. They taught us that during the shutdown. In the previous days, Republicans appeared unbothered by the release of the documents, with some Republicans calling the files a hoax and a distraction. The stance seemed to have changed, as seen by President Donald Trump taking to social media over the weekend to push for a vote to release the files. A number of the already released files mention Trump in ways that have led to increased scrutiny over whether he had any connection to Epstein beyond a trivial one. Epstein's brother, Mark, has claimed there's a cover-up underway with regards to the Epstein files, and that the Republicans' willingness to support a vote for its release reflects that. Quote, I've been recently told the reason they're going to be releasing these things and the reason for the flip is that they're sanitizing these files. He also alleged that FBI Director Kash Patel is involved in the cover-up, a claim he says came from a source who also told him it's taking place somewhere in Virginia. There's a facility in Winchester, Virginia, where they're scrubbing the files to take Republicans' names out of it. That's what I was told by a pretty good source. What we are supposed to swallow then, and I know this is like a rhetorical question because of all the stuff they've asked us to swallow up to this point. What we are supposed to swallow is that Trump genuinely now wants transparency for the thing that he has spent his entire administration trying to prevent from coming out. And then when the thing he's prevented from stopping comes out, it's just a bunch of Democrats, and that's supposed to be taken seriously. That he was protecting Democrats the entire time. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's 1,000% what they're going to ask us to swallow. That's 1,000% what they're going to ask us to, stuff that don't make sense in a children's book. You know what I mean? That's what they're going to ask us. JD, you want to be president or not? Mark in his interview also hinted that Trump's denial of any relationship with Epstein was false. Explaining the reasoning behind his stance, Mark said his late brother had dirt on the billionaire mogul, although he noted that the details were never shared with him. He didn't tell me what he knew, but Jeffrey definitely had dirt on Trump. You could see it in the emails. Trump could deny it all he wants, but it's pretty clear everything Trump says is a lie. Hey, Mark Epstein, who you telling? who you telling? Some of us didn't need a whole second administration to know that. Some of us didn't need a first administration to know that. But yet here we are. Now, as far as this situation is concerned, I once again want to convey a speedy recovery to the officer that's involved, and how not surprised I am that I've heard boo from this from the entire Republican caucus. The same ones that have spent this entire year trying to run interference for the nastiest of crimes, and then tried to cut a promo on the Democrats when they couldn't stop it from hitting the light of day.
A few days ago in Tennessee, JD Vance's motorcade ran over and critically injured someone. Not just someone, a police officer. One of MAGA's precious protected classes. And as someone who lives and breathes the political news, I've only heard about this a couple times. And it happened over 3 days ago. So if I have barely heard about it, I know this may very well be the first time you've heard about it. Which, sure, at this very given moment, there are more important things to be talking about that we should be pushing to the forefront. But that doesn't mean that we should totally ignore this, because what the fuck? This guy is apparently our heir apparent, the next president, right? And he's just running over people. I haven't checked social media or whatever, but because we've heard so little about it, I can only assume that JD Vance didn't say anything about it. Which, yeah, that's pretty on par for him. But if in the middle of, the Epstein emails coming out, in the middle of Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, continuing their beef, Trump calling for House Republicans to vote to release the Epstein files, senators like Lisa Murkowski, after previously voting no to not release them, now suddenly being yeah, sure, let's release them. In the midst of all of that, if you can find a moment to kind of spread the word about this, that would be greatly appreciated. Because what the...
Wait a minute. You said Lisa Murkowski now all of a sudden magically wants them released? So if Lisa Murkowski has literally no spine or backbone and will do whatever Trump says, which is clear at this point, maybe he actually wanted her to go out there and talk about how she's scared and fear of retribution. Maybe he sent her out there just as an example for the others. No, we can't trust nothing she says as authentic at this point, zero.
So if it was not clear abundantly before, they don't care about kids. They don't care about cops. They don't care about anyone but themselves.
That much is clear. And on an interpersonal level, when you interact with somebody like that, you take yourself out of the firing line so you can no longer be hurt by them moving with their lack of care or concern for others. Only in this situation, it's up to those that have empowered this administration to act in their own best interests for us collectively to remove ourselves from the firing line. In the meantime, there will continue to be examples like this where they give us literally all of the information. And that goes for you too, Erika. Don't say I ain't warn you. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Y'all still booing Trump? It's been days. No, you good, but just quiet down. I'm trying to make some content over here. I gotta give a quick shout out to my editors that have been absolutely killing it. My man Denzel, as well as Boz, who's been coming through crucial. However, they could use some help.
Help me! Help me!
You know, some reinforcements, a day off every now and again.
I'm so tired, but also hungry.
I should probably feed them and get them some fresh air every now and again. That probably would be good. I know it's been a while since I solicited for help, but I might be reaching out to some of you guys. So if you get an email like weeks after you reached out to me, don't be alarmed. And of course, if you have a particular set of skills and would like to join the team, hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. Speaking of joining the team, congratulations to all of our members. We just recently hit 3,000. And you know what that means? No, not like the movie Mr. 3000. Although I will take Bernie Mac's career arc though. I will take that. No, it means a members live. Y'all remember how crazy it got last time.
Nasty bitch.
So be on the lookout for notifications for that, as well as discounts on merch. And yes, we got some new stuff out there. Is that a Kamala was right and a release the files? Oh, it's going to be FAFO when I hit the streets in this. I'm going to kill them this wintertime. Speaking of merch, no, I'm getting to you, Lee. I'm getting to you, Lee. I received this email from my man, Lee, who said, discouraged, depleted, can't find merch to meet it. Hey, Reese team, I woke up this morning ready to bless my closet with some Reese Waters gear, had my card out, playlist on, and my confidence high. I hit the site and got hyped to see those dope t-shirts and hoodies. That North Carolina blue RWT fire, the black discouraged, depleted, but never defeated shirt. Instant classic. Now, the racism shirt, man, that segment alone deserves its own museum wing. Though Who Raised Y'all, which needs its own shirt, might be tied for first. But here's my problem. None, and I mean none of the shirts or hoodies come in 3XL. That's a personal attack on my confidence and my brisket intake. I'm a proud black man living in Arkansas, so you already know the struggle and the appetite. Can the 3XL brethren get some love too? I'm speaking on behalf of the discouraged, depleted, but never defeated, but definitely well-fed sized members of the channel. As somebody who used to always ask the clerks at Marshall's if this shirt came in bird chest, I know exactly what you mean, and that is something we will absolutely work on. Thank you so much for reaching out. You can always hit me up at admin@reesewaters.com. I'm going to be hitting you guys up for some year-end awards. More on that a little bit later, but as well as a Thanksgiving video, which I would like your input on as well. So check out the polls. You can catch them in the community tab, also via email. Is there any room left in the booing? Y'all got space? Upper deck? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll be back. Boo! I ain't been this proud of DC since we won the Stanley Cup.